Alhamdulillah kita dapat laksanakan sejak daripada siri yang pertama, dan teristimewanya pada malam ni pelajar-pelajar akan dapat bersama dengan seorang saya kira sebagai tokoh akademik, kerana beliau bukan calang-calang di sebuah universiti yang sangat ternama, bukan bertaraf nasional tapi bertaraf antarabangsa. Tak lain tak bukan ialah Universiti Islam Antarabangsa. Jadi pada malam ni cikgu nak bawa iaitu AR Dr. Srazali Aripin yang merupakan Head of Department of Architecture, Kulliyyah Architecture of Environment Design ataupun dipanggil KAED, International Islamic University of Malaysia atau IIUM di Gombak. Sebelum saya serahkan sesi kita pada malam ni, cikgu nak kongsi sikit lah latar belakang speaker kita iaitu Dr. Srazali. Beliau merupakan pemegang Dr. Falsafah dalam Perancangan dan Seni Bina ataupun Dr. Filosofi in Planning and Architecture daripada Universiti Queensland, Brisbane, Australia. Dan kepakaran beliau adalah dalam bidang strategi pencahayaan reka bentuk dalam perancangan dan reka bentuk hospital. Jadi ini sangat menarik. Sebelum ni kita telah dengar daripada bidang perakaunan, IT dan ICT, kejuruteraan, dan pada malam ni kita bersama dengan Dr. Srazali Aripin, kita akan bercakap tentang pengajian dan kerjaya dalam bidang arkitek. Jadi tanpa melengah masa, cikgu serahkan pada Dr. Srazali Aripin untuk berkongsi kerjaya ataupun pengajian dalam bidang arkitek ni satu yang menarik, peluang pekerjaan yang sangat luas, dan mungkin boleh kongsi sedikit tentang pengajaran ataupun latar belakang tentang bidang arkitektur di UIA di Gombak terutamanya. Saya serahkan pada doktor, silakan.
Okey, terima kasih Tuan Muhammad Azman Nizam. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh adik-adik. Nama saya seperti yang disebut tadi, Srazali bin Aripin. Sebelum saya bermulakan saya punya persembahan, I just want to know whether I want to speak in English or bahasa. Or both.
minta seorang wakil.
Wakil. Kena cakap lah sebab cikgu ni kalau nampak skrin tak seronok. Dia kena nampak muka. So saya tak nampak your video. Video semua very shy. So kita Malaysian we should be proud of our face and ourselves. So can I have a look at your faces please? So Shavini, Sivasu, Irfan.
Boleh on video.
Okay. I know that very shy. Don't have to very shy because you have to be proud of yourself because you are a reflection of your family, a reflection of your parents. So if you can see me, I can't see you, it wouldn't be fair in this life. Okay. Anyway, I hope I can speak I prepare okay, for those who do not have a webcam, shouldn't be a problem. But for those who have a video, by all means, please on your video because I look forward to see you face to face because when we talk, it is best that we have to see eye to eye, okay? But I have only 30 minutes, but now has reduced to 25. So let me proceed with my presentation. And today's presentation is about pengajian dan kerjaya sebagai arkitek. The title is in bahasa, but I think in English is called education in and the prospect of profession in architecture or as an architect. So that's me. So the image that I'm trying to portray to you, the first image that you will see here on the screen is a rumah tradisi. Rumah tradisi, it has a lot of meaning. Rumah tradisi Perak, okay. So it has a lot of meaning. It has a lot of reflection. So this is one of our scope of architecture that we preserve the old heritage building that belong to the identity of Malaysia. Okay, so that is one of the specialization in architecture field. Now, what my contents today is these are the four aspects that I will try to explain to you the difference between architecture and architect. Okay, so and I will proceed with item number 2 is the journey to be an architect. it is very important that you have to know the journey. The journey in this context is the academic journey, all right? You want to call yourself as an architect, so you have to know the roots in any discipline that you want to proceed, or whatever, psychology, medicine, accountant. You have to know how long is the journey in academic and what are the prospects. Okay, I'll try my best to explain that briefly. Now, I want to capture your attention as well. I will show the video presentation of IIUM and also some sample of student work if you want to proceed with the architecture studies. Okay, and perhaps we can conclude a very brief one slide that is very powerful to me, from me, and for your remembrance until the rest of your life. Okay, take it that as an advice. So let me explain. What is architecture? Architecture is a discipline. It's a subject that integrate comprehensively the knowledge of the art, of the art and science. It's a combination. It's just not just drawing. It's not just building. And applying all the techniques in you that you have obtained, you have gained, and skills in designing the building. Okay, you don't have to see the building itself, but the building relates with your culture, relates with your context surrounding, relates with whatever functions that you are doing for that building. Each building, for your information, adik-adik semua, each building has its own function and purpose. And what the architects always design, it has to have a function. So design for who, design for what, and how it is designed is a process. So that is what architecture is all about. Okay, and I must acknowledge, I must inform you that architecture is one of the professional discipline in Malaysia and the rest of the world. Okay, now as of now, I was informed just now that this series is a very good initiative, and this series actually have been inviting people from law, accountant, and so on. That is very good, because during my time we have no opportunity. So I have no quarrel to share my knowledge in architectural professions, so that you are well aware. Now, what I want to emphasize is that the architecture is a professional course. What I mean by professional, okay? So I will explain that in a while. The practice of architecture is employed to fulfill both practical and functional aspect as well as expressive requirements of the built form. Maksudnya di sini ialah if you can where are you now? You are in your room, am I right? So in your room, you must have size, space, height, volume, comfort, all the aspects other than the interior or in the aesthetic space of the room. So that is designed by an architect. Of course, you can say that, a contractor, what we call that, propose me this kind of color and so on. But basically, the contractor learns the practice, the process of designing a room is actually a designer or an architect's work. Okay, so the outcome in this context is a building must be functional as well as aesthetical, means that needs the ummah habitation, the human lah, culture, climatic condition, and budget. Now, what is the difference? When I talk about climatic condition, architecture in Malaysia differ than architecture in London. Architecture in Malaysia different than architecture in Turkey. Why? Because of climatic condition. So that is why it is a specialized course, it is professional in nature, and you have to respect architecture or an architect who talk to you, who convey their idea, respect it for knowledge, because the knowledge is very professional discipline. You cannot gain the advice from an architect from anybody. From a clerk, you can't. From anybody. So that's why it's a specialized subject. So that's why there are 5 disciplines in the world. There will be 6, inshallah, but 5 architecture, medicine, lawyer, accountants, and one more I forgot. I think engineering. Yeah, these are the main core professions. If you were to choose in it, you are regarded in a professional course. Okay, so what is the difference between architecture and an architect? An architect is a person, who registered to call yourself as an architect. You must register with the Board of Architects Malaysia under the Act, it is regulation. So by registering yourself, then you are professional, you are qualified person, you have the right. Other professional team members in the building and environment, but while doing your right, you have to acknowledge other discipline. When you want to construct a building, you need structural engineer, you need mechanical and electrical engineer, quantity surveyor, landscape architect, and town planners. But I must tell you that all these professionals in the team members in the built environment has to start with the design by an architect. So architect must be the leading role in the profession of built environment. You have to work together with this discipline, but you have to be a leading role. That is why an architect is a very a professional person, and not only professional, they can be sued or they can sue people, okay? Can sue your client and the contractor and so on, okay? So professional can, okay? So I hope you understand so far. If you don't understand, you can interrupt me, okay? I have no objection. So being a professional, these are the right, right to submit plan to the local authority. If any other than architect, you cannot submit, okay? Conceptualization, research and development, any survey, project, you can be the leading architect for the construction industry, the planning and development services, including interior design. Interior design used to be part or parcel of an architect work, okay? But now they want to be independent, they want to be a very specialized course, and it's called an interior designer, okay? Financial advisory, they have to be well versed with financial costs and so on and so on. Project management, contract, I don't have the time to explain all this in detail within the 30 minutes. But if you have a chance to Google or search yourself under the Architects Act 1967, then you will find out more of this, okay? So these are the right. As a professional lawyer, we can charge fees and we can sue, we can submit plan. Okay, these are the images, all right? So do you find this interesting? Now, in order for this to be built, it has to come from an architect, all right? So you can be so creative. Remember my introduction about architecture? It is a combination or integrations between art and science. The art part, it can be a concept and derivation of concept into realizations. Okay, whatever concept. This is just an image from the Pinterest.com. So I'll interested to show you. So we normally start with a concept, with an idea of something or a function, and that could be a cafe, could be a museum, it could be that. So this is another iconic building that is fantastic to see. It is just like a jewel in the water, in the center of the place. Okay. Isn't that fantastic, adik-adik? Can somebody say something?
Yes.
Is it nice? Is it nice?
It is nice.
Yes, sir. Okay. So that is but before you arrive to this, these are a kind of sketches that you have to this require what we call a skills, a drawing skills, and understand. You know, you don't just draw. You have to use your brain and the knowledge, the skill. This is where I said earlier, in integrative. So on the right hand side is a constructions, construction of how does the roof and the wall meet, you see. So this is an architect's job. Of course, the contractor can see, but they cannot submit. They have no right to do that. So this is it. So you can design from a house until a gigantic structure, high-rise, malls, and whatever, you see. So this is an architect of the past. This is Hagia Sophia, and this is the mosque overseas. And isn't that fantastic, adik-adik? So I enjoy doing architecture because one of the skills in architecture is to improve your communication skills. I think I'm good in talking. Okay, so this is high rise. You must recognize this building, isn't it? The Burj, the what I call this? I forgot lah. This is the Burj Khalifa on my right. I forgot this apa ni. This is one of the most in Mediterranean. Okay, this is the phases of design outcome, and I purposely put this on the right hand side image is that architects do some urban planning, a lot of thinking in terms of the interaction, the connectivity of the people from one place to another. So they plan where do they move and where do they sit. On the left hand side is an interior design of an office, where how they visualize a concept where they can hang around during lunchtime and so on and so on. Yeah. So this but most importantly is that as a designer or as an architect who design all these places, all these built environment, you must have in mind amal ma'ruf nahi munkar, which is try to avoid all the wrongdoings, and also you always encourage good thing, good design. When you design, your design must be good. It shouldn't be worse than the present scenario, you see. So that is what it means. You have to have this always in mind, okay? Now, when one of the roles of being an architect also, you can also preserve the old buildings, you see. You must have this kind of feeling of sentimental values. I show you people sitting in a space whereby they are sitting traditionally, you know, for lunch and for dinner and inviting others. This is a social interactions, you see. So that is why architecture is fantastic to learn. Unlike medicine, you have to memorize, you have to be good at that. Each profession has its own beauty, and each profession has its own advantage. Architecture is a multi-skills professions and education. They train you how to sketch, they train you how to communicate, they train you how to excel in promoting your idea. It's a product, okay? So now item number 2 is a journey to be an architect. Now, where you are now, can you see on my left here, Sijil Pelajaran Malaysia? You must have this as a basic or equivalent with MEC last time, O level. Yes, you have to be here. Now, this is a typical journey to be an architect, okay? So this is number 1. The first step is that you have to be, upon getting your SPM results, you will have to have what we call pre-university. You need to have international baccalaureate, STPM, A levels, matrix, Asasi. I will be talking more about this in a while. So, and others, yeah. So you can also have if you didn't get a good SPM, you can go to it's a long journey, but you can go to diploma in many of these polytechnic and so on to go into the architecture. Okay, so then part 1 in the university, upon passing through the requirement. So before that, SPM has a certain requirement that I will show you to enter Asasi for UIA. I will only share with you the Asasi in UIA. So now you are into the world of university. You will be doing 3 years in part 1, and then the recent part 1 you will be awarded Bachelor of Science in Architecture, and then part 2 you will be rewarded, or you will be gaining Master of Architecture, Master by top course. Okay, then after and before part 1 to part 2, you need to have a minimum of working experience. This is not practical training, but you are in the field. And then you gain this experience to go into part 2. Now, part 3 is a small thing, because of the space, but this is the part 3. What I have now is a part 3. I have fulfilled all the requirements, and part 3, in order to sit for the examination, professional examination, you need to have a 2 years practice experience and passing LAM part 3, okay? So no worries. This is 1 year matriculation. Part 1 is 3 years, and part 2 is 2 years, 5, 6 years, including this, okay? Don't worry. But by having your PEM part 3 or LAM part 3, you can do all this. You can do all the high-rise building and so on and so on. Amazing, am I right? So that is the journey. Now I stop for a while. I just want to show. I must show you this because.
Prof, ada satu soalan daripada pelajar kita ni, Alia
Sorry,
Nazira.
Ya. Apa dia? Carry on.
Alia ada ke dalam ni? Boleh tanya terus pada Prof?
Boleh interrupt ni.
Alia Nazira ada?
Ya.
Okey, silakan Alia.
I want to ask, would the architect need to know the materials and the equipment of the building, or is the job is only to draw the design of the building?
Sorry, I don't hear that properly, Alia.
I want to ask, would the architect need to know the materials, the equipment of the building?
Yes, the material. It is part and parcel of the course that you have to know the material. Because I tell you what, the material in the kitchen and the material in the car porch and the material for the offices are different. So you cannot use all sort of material for all type of functions. That's why you have to well verse in many things. You have to well verse in the materiality of the things. And even you have to learn plants, because architecture can create a healing environment, relationship between indoor to outdoor, you see? So it is healing environment. So I hope you understand, Alia. You can carry on asking question for those who, what I'm trying to explain to you in this slide number 2 is this one. So this is where you gain your SPM, and this you enter Asasi UIAM. Because I'm from IIUM, I only can be able to show you IIUM. So if you PU online and then direct you, I hope you know all this process. You have to choose IIUM if you want to enter. Now, what is in Asasi? There are many Asasi: pharmacy, Pengajian, perubatan, kuliah sains, kuliah sains kesihatan. My faculty is here. This one is mine. Okay, kuliah seni bina, dan dalam kuliah in this faculty, which is equivalent to faculty, if you want to be an architect, you have to go this seni bina. Ni the first one, seni bina architecture. Perancang bandar is town planner. Sarjana muda seni bina landscape is landscape architect. Sarjana muda ukur bahan is QS. Sarjana muda seni gunaan is applied art and design. Okay, so what are the fundamental requirements for this one? You need to have bahasa Melayu minimum C+, B bahasa Inggeris, pendidikan Islam B, sejarah C, mathematics B+, and 1 grade from all these B. And you will be able to see this in the website. Okay, shouldn't be a problem. So I don't have to show this. This is only for the requirements. So that's it. So I turn back into my original presentation. Okay, so this is it. I've explained you the journey. Now this is a video presentation, and I think video presentation I can put last. The sample of work of students' work at part 2, Master of Architecture. But it was almost similar to the in the lower years, part 1, it is much more lighter. So I'm just giving you a sample of student work that enter competition and part 2. Don't you find interesting? in order for them to produce this drawing, there are many skills required. One is computer skills, AutoCAD, rendering, and also some ideas, thinking, and communication skill, and graphic skill for them to rearrange the ideas into a certain limitation format. Okay, so this is another one. You see, the type of projects in the part 2 or in the master level is very interesting. Sometimes they call it PETA, is meant for urban rejuvenations, and some are philosophical, Patrico, and the space of politics. These are theses, you know, cinematic square, and this is multi-generation living, you know, this is the student residential, this is a multi-generation living, you know, or this is museum. So this is it, okay? But before I go into, I think I put this in the last. So my conclusion, adik-adik, because of 30 minutes, I'm on time. So whatever you do, I believe that we in this world is created by our creator is because we want to have what we call a Tawhidic approach. Tawhid requires man action, is an undertaking that symbolizes acceptance to the oneness of the creator who has created man as part of his universal plan for the world. So I must stress this. This is my conclusion. Whatever you do in life, this is about man. Where are you in this universe? Okay. Now I know that this is a level of thinking that you have to, even at SPM level, man as Khalifah. You are as Khalifah, regardless of what race, regardless of what religion you are in the center of everything. Okay. You are responsible with the man-to-man relationship. You are also responsible with man to nature, and you are also responsible to your creator. So this is very, very important. And because I'm Muslim, I pick up this Surah Al-Fatiha because it has a lot of meaning in my doings in this life. Okay, so I do not want to elaborate. If you want me to elaborate, it take another 1 hour. But what it means in this Al-Fatiha is reflection of the man as Khalifah. Okay, the ayat number 5 and 6 is our duty to do good things to man, to nature, and so on. So you have to yakin that what your presence in this life is meaningful. So that's why you have to learn to study SPM carefully, efficiently, and really strive the best for the best. That's it. So as I promised, I would like you to show to you the IIUM official videos to encourage you to see. Wait, this is IIUM. Enjoy yourself.
Let's lead the way, light in the future, share the wisdom to the spirit of Islam. Revelation and reason, shine itself shall prevail. Merging faith and knowledge, we the Khalifa will fulfill the Amanah. We make the world a better place forever. Expand the culture of equality. It's to realize the evil. Together we make the world a better place forever. Expand the culture of equality.
Okay, thank you very much.
Terima kasih
All my
Dr. Srazali
presentation.
Aripin atas perkongsian yang sangat menarik sebentar tadi.
Okay.
Kalau pelajar-pelajar lihat ada pelajar antarabangsa sebab di sana lebih daripada 90 pelajar antarabangsa berada dalam UIA.
Yep.
Jadi kamu akan jumpa pelajar-pelajar daripada negara-negara Europe, negara Afrika Tengah, Afrika, Amerika, Asia Tengah dan sebagainya.
Yeah.
Jadi ini satu lagi peluang lah. Dan mungkin kalau ada soalan terakhir, ada tak?
Ya, ada soalan-soalan. Saya boleh
Boleh tanya
cuba
terus?
jawab. No problem. Ada apa-apa? Okay, maybe for those who are non-Muslim, do not be disheartened. Okay, jangan rasa macam tak boleh masuk. Boleh. The answer is boleh. Boleh. The answer is boleh. There are many non-Muslim who enter IIUM. Cuma the entry point, it has to be from STPM or diploma. Itu saja. Okay, that means you can have to do STPM or matriculation. That is okay. We can accept. I have, in fact, my my niece, Punjabi niece, is actually now in second year of law. Okay. Before I moved to Malaysia, I studied in Ireland. I got to read your question. Before I moved to Malaysia, I studied in Ireland. Is it a country from Europe? Ireland. Ireland is in UK. Yeah, it's part of Europe. Yes, you're right. So why you ask this question, Alia? Sorry to disturb you, sir. I want to ask, would the architect need to know the material? Okay, that have we answered? Any question? It's just a statement. Okay. All right. Any questions? So I just want to ask you, okay? So are you motivated with the presentation? Is it useful?
Okay.
Yes. Any
Mana
Yes.
tak nak ambil arkitek?
Tak ada. I'm not, you see, in life, in SPM level, this is just an exposure. You do not have to take whatever your parent asks. It has to be the key success in life is passion. Only through passion, Passion, only through passion you can get through all the hurdles that you are in. Okay. So I thank you to Brother Muhammad Azman Nizam for inviting me. Unfortunately, I could not see all your faces because of the internet and so on. But I wish I could take photograph with you, if you don't mind. Whoever can on their videos, so that we can have a photo session. So this is a memento. This is new norm of taking photograph now.
Okey, boleh buka ni on video, mana yang boleh lah. Ada yang setengah tu mungkin
Ya, mana yang boleh.
Kita boleh sesi bergambar.
So is it okay? I buka my sekejap je, akan ada interruption sekejap. Okay. Can you listen to me? Hello?
Dengar.
Okay. So can we take photograph? Okay. Dah cantik lah tu, Irham. Okay. Siapa nak ambil gambar?
Okay, saya ambil lah.
You ambil lah?
Nah.
Okay. Terima kasih banyak-banyak. I hope 30 minutes is a well of time. If you have any questions, can go through Muhammad Azman Nizam.